good, the bad, the ugly, because you'll never get it. Formed by water.
Yeah, I know, brave little toaster, it sucks. Fucking wasn't expecting non-stop rain in New York. And it's still like 45 at night and 50 something degrees during the day, so it's like cold rain. That was the main reason why I didn't want to do jack shit in it this morning. It was fucking cold out.
Travertine means it's actually the type of rock that this is made out of. So it's the world's largest formation of this type of rock in the world to have a bridge like this. So yeah, it goes all the way down 400 feet. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a giant ceiling. Look at this thing. Yeah, so this is the Tesla van, that's what they call it. I call it the Tesla van because, yeah. I took out the passenger seat. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, toaster, that's what it's pretty much been. I mean, we got a couple times where it stopped raining last night when I was working. But that, as soon as I got in my van to drive home, it started raining again. It's supposed to not rain tomorrow. It said partly cloudy with some sun. Still going to be kind of cold out, but I'm hoping that it doesn't rain because, like, shit I gotta do, like I gotta be able to cut wood and shit like outside, and I don't want any of it getting wet. It shouldn't rain.
Alright, so after a few days passed, I got a DM.
It won't matter once I'm living in the van, but right now it sucks. Fucking keeps ruining all my plans. Also, it's fairly windy today too, like wind gusts.
Yeah, we took 2 trips, so met up with one of their friends too as well, and went for fun at the lake. And just when you think things are going very well, I made it to Page, Arizona. But as some of you guys know, I had a unable to charge error on my Tesla.
But the good news is I've got 2 days off from work, so even if it did rain tomorrow or rain half the day, I still have plenty of time to get everything I need to get done this weekend. would if I had a place to move everything to out of the way. But you know, if it's raining, I can't push shit in the garage out in the rain. So, fortunately not. I wish that I had even just half of the garage. A year ago it wasn't that packed up, but she started clearing out one of the rooms in the house and moving it all into the garage. So I clogged the whole garage up. We can't even fit the lawnmower in the garage right now. The lawnmower's just been hanging out outside. Some of the stuff I could do inside the van, but I don't really want to do a bunch of wood cutting inside the van because I don't want to get sawdust, everywhere. Because that shit floats all up inside everything. But mostly today, I just was I have oil-based stainer, and there's one thing that I know is oil and water don't mix well together. So if you have a wet surface that you're trying to apply something on that's oil-based, it's not going to take, you want the wood to be nice and dry when you go to apply that shit. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting stainer and you're going to have to do more than 2 coats. And each can of a quart of stainer costs about $14 a piece, so it's kind of pricey. But in theory, should be able to get everything done that I need to get done this weekend. And I might have somebody that will be ordering the solar panels for me and the water tank this coming week, which will really help me out. Off of my Amazon wish list, they said that they're going to look into doing that. They reached out to me. So if they do, and I get all that stuff, by next weekend, I'll be able to start installing all that. And then I can seal everything off. Job or at campsites. The charges, depending off the solar panel this week, I think I would have had a lot of trouble charging the batteries with how cloudy it's been. So I'm going to make sure I can, be able to do that. Are you seriously not going to let me over? You see the cop over there on the right, you fucking retard? You have to move over. It's a law. Fucking idiots, dude. This guy would rather not let me over. Fucking dick face. But yeah, tomorrow, like I said, the weather forecast has been pretty accurate all week with what it's saying, and it says that it's not going to rain tomorrow. There's not even a 10% chance of rain, it's just no rain. Yeah, if you look, I still have all of the shit in my van. I've never taken it out because it's been raining. I was going to try and move it into the garage so I didn't have to drive around with it in here. But it's been raining every single day. And I just don't want to get any of it wet because it's still cold and shit, so I don't know if it's going to dry. I don't want the moisture seeping into the wood. I just want to make sure that it stays nice and dry for when I start working on the van. I get no do-overs with the materials. I don't have money to, go have to replace stuff. As when I was putting the floors in, there's that you just can't get wet. And I'm pretty certain the 2x4s that I bought is untreated and, you know, like prone to absorbing moisture and getting mildew. So my plan is to, you know, spray down the 2x4 with this polyester stuff that I got and seal it off, so essentially it becomes waterproof. And I'm doing the same thing with the wall paneling, so that way if it ever got wet inside the van for whatever reason, it wouldn't, like, you know, ruin everything I got in there. So somebody told me on YouTube, I was hanging out in like a van lifer chat during a premiere, and you know, I had asked the question because I noticed that he had a battery inverter pack instead of, like, you know, 3 regular car style batteries as his battery pack. And I asked, I was like, hey, does that work better for you to have the inverter and the battery all in one system? And he told me that it is a lot better, and it, like, the power pack or power station or whatever tells you like how much battery life you have via like time or whatever, and then you just plug your solar panels into that. So I might look into possibly, instead of doing the car batteries, trying that out first, and if it works, then maybe I'll just use that, you know? It's like a big power bank. It said that it has like, you know, up to 2,500 watts of output. But it's a little bit more money than the car batteries. Like, it's, I think it was like $388 on Amazon for the power station, the big one. But it's basically a power inverter and a battery all in one. And it's got like all the same plugins. You can plug multiple plugs into it. You can plug your wires into it. So I was thinking I might try and just do that. Because at the end of the day, if it ended up working, I'd end up spending close to $300 or $400 anyways on batteries and an inverter. But it'll take up a lot less space too under the bed, and it'll be a lot less weight. Also, I can unplug it from my van and take its, like, you know, when I start working my job at the end of the year in that tower, I'll be able to just unhook it from my van and take it into the tower with me and give myself another power station. Situation solved after I get the van built out. You know, like right before I move into it, I can let it go to the shop for a couple days on my days off. No, it's got like an evap issue. It's not anything, you know, sometimes the van still like has some kind of minor issues, but it's not been anything, you know, like it was before. Like if the van was running for a while, right, and I go and I turn it off, if I try and turn it on within like 20 minutes, it takes it a couple tries to get it to start back up again. And I think it's because the evap situation, it's like the computer in the van thinks that it's like clogged up or something. So when you're trying to start it a couple times, it's clearing that out and then it kicks right on. So I just know if I've been driving it for a while, to just let it run. So like when I get to work, my van's obviously going to be off for 8 or 9 hours. When I come out from work, it starts right up because it's cleared out, whatever. The only code that I'm getting for the van is an evap code. There's like not anything else wrong with it, just an evap. So I more than likely have like some kind of small leak somewhere where I just can't see it. But you know, my friend's gonna help me with that, but he'll probably end up having to keep the van for a couple days. No, it doesn't overheat. So my temperature, all my gauges on my dash work. My temperature gauge always stays below halfway in the temp, so that never moves, even if it's revving. Well, it doesn't really rev, it just has a high idle. And you can't reset the computer until you solve the evap leak or whatever's causing the leak. It also could just be a bad sensor, you know? Like just having the sensor completely replaced, because if you have a bad sensor, it's going to tell, the van thinks that there's something wrong with it, and even if there isn't something wrong with it, it's going to overcompensate and have that high idle, which is why it does what it does. So it could be those two issues, either a small leak or a bad evap sensor. But because I'm on like a time van, so I'm using the van right now to get to and from work while I'm building it out. And as soon as I get it built, then on 2 of my days off, I can give it to the mechanic, let him keep it on my 2 days off, so it doesn't affect, you know, my work schedule. And he'll figure it out. I think when I looked it up online, the evap sensor for this van is like under $200, and then, you know, if it's a hose, that's a super easy fix. You know, you can either patch the hose or just, hoses are so cheap, we can just buy new hoses and put those in, which I'd prefer. Well, what I mean by revving is, y'all remember my Mazda, how it would like constantly fucking go from a high idle to a low idle to a high idle to a low idle? The van just stays at a high idle. So it's not revving like how my Mazda was when it had the purge valve issue. It's just a consistent high idle. But I will say this, it doesn't do it all the time, which is why I think it might be a sensor issue as well. So sometimes if I've been driving for a while and I put it in park, it doesn't idle high at all, it just idles at a normal pace. Because if it was a leaking hose or something, you would think it would do that all the time. And it could just be a sensor that hasn't gone completely bad, but it's like good thing about it is these vehicles are super easy to work on and fix. As you all seen, I fixed like the big issue that I had myself. Like the only complication with this van really is where the engine is positioned. So you might have trouble finding mechanics that want to work on your van. But in terms of like working on the van itself, it's not really that difficult. I mean, as you all can see, the van drives perfectly fine, no issues. As soon as I shift it in the drive, everything goes into position the way it's supposed to. There's no high idling, there's no high anything. Like it just, everything is where it should be. It's only runs rich when you're in park or neutral. I'd say the only other thing I think that the van needs is an alignment. I don't know when the last time that guy or the previous owner got an alignment on this thing, but it definitely needs an alignment. That's why it's bumpy sometimes. Because all the tires on it are fairly brand new. They were brand new when I got the van. And I've maybe put like a couple thousand miles on them since I've had it. So it definitely needs an alignment. I was planning on getting that done, you know, when I do turn the van in to get the evap situation solved. Because they're going to have to put it on the scale or whatever it is and do that. And then it won't shake anymore. You know, the brakes are still really new, but it's got a brand new brake booster in it as well. So, yeah, just a couple small things need to get, you know, finished on it or fixed or whatever. Because it would be nice to be able to turn the van on and let it idle at a campsite if I need to charge my batteries that way, you know, without burning a lot of gas. I think it's really bad on gas when I let it idle. Yeah, I'll definitely check the tires. The good news about tires is I have 2 brand new spare tires that are actual, you know, tires or whatever. They're both brand new. And then also there's a tire shop in Pennsylvania. It's in like Dixon City. And they sell like discounted tires there. And I would take my Mazda there all the time. And I would get 4 tires on my vehicle that would last me months upon months for like under $80. And they're like, they get name brand tires in there. They're like Michelin, Firestone, Goodyear tires. So for this van or whatever, you know, if I needed to in a pinch, I could go there and get tires put on it. But my ultimate plan is to get myself some really good all-terrain tires, which will cost a little bit, you know, per tire. But you'll get way more mileage off of those, and I'll be able to use my van on, like, you know, a little bit harsher trails and stuff like that. But the cool thing is, you know, I got 2 spare tires, so if anything ever were to blow on me or whatever, I can just throw a regular tire on. It's already balanced, it has a rim on it. So we're actually heading right now to that camp spot again. I just wanted to see what the campsite looks like on a Saturday. You know, even though it's raining, people still go out in the rain to fish. highway every single day. Every other day I'll take like back roads or the highway. And I do that to just kind of change up, the style of driving that the van is doing until I get the alignment issue fixed. Take it easy one day and take the back roads, and then the next day I'll take the highway. Both ways are easier on the van in different ways. So like when you take it on the highway, it's actually a lot easier on the engine. The van runs a lot better on the highway with that evap issue, I'm sure. And it's also better on fuel economy on the highway versus the back roads. But then slower speeds on the back roads is a lot easier on the drive train, like the tires and all that stuff with the alignment issue. So until I finish this, project or whatever, I figured out that I need to be going to the Home Depot in Pennsylvania, not in New York, as I found out yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Everything's literally like $4 to $5 cheaper at the Home Depot in Pennsylvania, and they sell items that are actually outlawed in New York. So the stainer that I got in Pennsylvania is way better quality stainer than what they sell up in New York. Oil-based stainers in New York are illegal. So Home Depot up here can't sell that. And they're actually more money in New York too. So like for that little tiny 1-quart can I got in PA, it cost $22 in New York, and it's not oil-based. And then down there it costs me $14 for 1 quart, and it's oil-based. All of the paneling that I got is $6.27 in PA, and in New York it's $10.73 plus New York tax on top of it. The 2x4s in New York are $12 a piece at Home Depot. The same kind that I got in PA are $6.48 a piece, the lower tax. And I go down to PA to get vape juice, every other week, so it makes sense just to go to the Home Depot down there when I go down to get vape, save the money. And I think I spent in total, like round trip in gas economy, about $20 in gas. So, one could argue, oh, you spend a little bit extra money, in gas instead of just going to the one in New York. But then again, I would have not have gotten better stainer if I didn't go to PA a couple days ago. I don't know why New York is such a bitch about everything. Like everything seems to be outlawed in New York. It's a little bit ridiculous, if you ask me, but good thing I'm not planning on living in New York forever. Nice to see you, Panelwood. Now all the Panelwood's up here with me. Yeah, why the fuck is it not raining up here, dude? Like, I feel like we just have a cloud over where I live. Well, it'll probably continue raining. Like, there's clouds, rain clouds over there. This is what it was like yesterday when I was working off and on. Well, you know what it could be. It's not as high elevation here versus where I live. Like, I'm kind of up in, I don't even know if you want to call them mountains, but I'm like at the highest, points in terms of like mountains. So I think like the higher elevation, the more moisture you're going to find. Hey, Lenny. But yeah, I'm really hoping that it's going to be like this tomorrow, nice and, a little bit of sunlight to help that stainer dry. so I could, you know, set the boards out in the sunlight, lean them up against the wall to dry off. That reminds me, I need to grab some gloves from work today. My boss said that I can take a few, because I don't think I have rubber gloves at the house, and that's something I forgot to get at Home Depot for the stainer. Because I was planning on using like a rag or something to apply it. I didn't want to use like a paintbrush because I don't want to have like, you know, paintbrush streaks. I just want it to be rubbed into the wood, and then if there's like any bubbles or anything, I can just sand it out. I'm excited though to see what that stainer comes out like. Like, I was kind of bummed out I couldn't do it today. I really wanted to get it on there so I could see how it looked. Rubbing wood, yep, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow morning. Even Gerald's gonna come over and help me rub some wood tomorrow, I think. We'll see. Or he'll probably end up getting there after I'm already done with that, but you all are about to see Gerald's gonna help me out with the things that I didn't know how to do. Was that my turn? Remember we did this last time? I think I just missed my turn. Where's my favorites list on this GPS, dude? Apparently I don't have them. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around here because I'm pretty certain that was my turn. Actually, I could just drive through this. That's too narrow of an angle bank to try and turn around on. I was really wondering how the fuck am I gonna put the whatchamacallit inside of the wall of the van, the shore power port, because I don't think I have anything that can cut, you know, a very tiny circle hole on the side wall of my van. And I'd probably end up having to buy one at Home Depot, I'm sure, but the oh, okay, cool, this circles around. He already said on the phone, oh, I can do that, I have what we need for that. He knew exactly what I was talking about. So when I get that in the mail next week, it's like $22 for the shore power port on Amazon. Pretty fair price. So when I get that in, he'll help me install that, and then that's going to plug into the battery station, or the, well, actually the power inverter. And when I'm at work, I'll be able to just plug my van in at my job and charge my battery while I'm working for 8 hours. And I think it'll only take like 4 hours to charge the battery up. Maybe not even that. Wow, this is a very steep incline here. I always miss this turn up here, and I tried saving it in my GPS, but for whatever reason it just never comes up in my CarPlay. The coordinates. Especially doing this at nighttime is kind of a bitch. Alright, I think this might be it. I remember there was train tracks here. Here's the train tracks. And there's like a patch of land over here on the right that's open. Should be. Yep, okay, this is the right road. And the public park is at the very end of this dead end. This is like the ideal camping spot because you can legally park here up to 10 nights without a permit. So if I wanted to stay more than, you know, a couple of nights and not move around, I could legally do so and not be bothered by anyone. And there's a bathroom here. so I don't have to use my in-van bathroom. You know, that's less times I have to take my bathroom to go dump at a campsite. Turns to a dirt road here. There's a little pull-in spot there to the right and left. And this is the camp spot here. Except these two people here kind of parked wrong. You're supposed to pull straight in. So now they're taking up way more space than, you know, you need to. I'm not staying, I'm just showing you guys. I'll park here for a second. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can see all the fucking wood still in here. And it's slid up here because I have nothing to keep it from sliding on these slick floors. I'll keep that in mind, Steve. Thank you. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this. Here comes the rain. It just says no campfires on roads or parking areas, no paintball or breakable targets, camping more than 3 consecutive nights. So you can stay up to 3 nights consecutively. Camping in groups or 10 or more. Oh, I misread it last time. Okay, I thought it said 10 nights. Hold on, where's the thing about the permit? Was it on the other side? Might have been on the other side. No. Oh, this is where I seen it. So I think you can get a permit as well. Because on the New York website it said that you can stay longer at places if you pay for a permit. So that's cool. Up to 3 nights is perfect because, you know, I would just stay here for a few nights and then go camp somewhere else for a couple nights and then you can come back because it just says consecutive, so you can't stay here more than 3 nights legally, but you can leave for 2 nights and then come back and stay 3 more nights consecutively. So check this out, right on the water here. You can go fishing, which is cool. I could go kayaking out here. And it's free. All these people in these houses probably paid millions of dollars to have that property. And I can stay here in my built-out camper van for free, right on the water. There's also a really cool trail that I can go bike riding down or walking with Valentina. It goes all the way up and around this lake. There's the bathroom. And I came out here at like 11 o'clock one night and opened it. It was still unlocked. Pretty clean. Looks like they maintain it well. There is another place over here. This is where you would put your kayak in the water. Because I am getting a kayak. I'm getting an inflatable one for a couple $100. Also don't need to have a registration or anything for a kayak. You just pop it right in the water and go. The only place that you have to have like or do something to a kayak is the Catskills or any reservoirs. You have to like give it like there's a place you take it to and it has to be like showered or whatever, or cleaned with some special chemicals or something before you can put it in, and then they give you like a certificate for it showing that you have that done. So this is a pretty cool camp spot, I'd say. I got a couple other places that are also cool. They just don't have a bathroom. Check for glue. I didn't see any holes. It looks pretty solid. But it says like no motorized vehicles on the trail, so you could do a bike. You just can't do like a ATV or anything like that. I'm gonna go up to the second level real quick. You can hear my van's not really revving that loud either, right? Uh-oh. Stalled out on me. Oh no, it stalled out on me. It does that in reverse for some reason. I don't know why. It only does it in reverse. What the hell? No, it's done that a couple of times. Not all the time. So this up here is pretty cool. So this is like probably where I would park. I would probably back into this spot right here. I'd probably back into this spot over here, up and out of the way. I wouldn't park all the way down there by the water, but you still have a really good view of the lake from right up here. And then you're kind of like up and out of the way. Like I wouldn't be an asshole and park down there and take up a spot where, you know, people are trying to put their canoes in the water or go fishing or something like that. Like I feel like this is a pretty good spot. And if I park, you know, back in like this, then I can see out my windows and open my door up and, you know, that I'm sitting at, open the doors up and have that view right there. But yeah, this stuff's gonna be nice, man. You can see how light it is too. I could pick this up with one hand, and it's an 8-foot piece of wood. See? So it's very light. I was kind of worried about all that weight with the wood. 2x4s are kind of heavy. Can't do that with those. Solid. But these are for the bed. These are going to be like the legs on the bed and then the sides of the bed and the framing. And I got one wider piece of wood. What is that, a 2x6? I got that. I'm going to cut down and have that go down the center of the bed or whatever, extra framing and support. So that's going to be real nice. And this is good quality wood too. These were $6 a piece. About $6 and some change. It was like $6.48 per piece. They're all 8 feet. Actually, they're exactly the same length as this. So each piece will give me like multiple cuts for the bed. Just depends how tall I want the bed to be. Oh, you can see I started trying to fix the door. I figured out that I'm going to have to get a new I don't know what the part's called, but it's the little hook that goes into where the latch is. It's not a cable. I thought it was going to be a cable. It's not. It's like the little, you see that metal piece hanging from the plastic? It's like a hook and it goes into the latch in the door, and the little plastic piece that is supposed to be on that thing, it broke off. So that's why it doesn't work. So I'm going to have to order that piece if I want to fix that. But that was pretty easy to take out. That just like kind of popped right out of place. Also, what I'm doing as well is like, I'm going to save all my scrap cuts from this paneling that I can't do on the wall. And you see where the black plastic is on the doors, on all of them? I'm popping all that plastic off the door. What we're going to do is we're going to paint the door. We're just going to spray paint the entire door white. And then I'm going to build paneling the same shape or whatever that these plastic things are on and put that over the door, and then cut out the spot where the handles go. And I'm going to stain it the same color as the walls. So the doors will have that nice panel wood on it, you know, going all the way down on all of them. So that will look really nice too. I did consider closing off the windows in the back, but I don't know, I kind of like being able to see out of the back windows. Something about it. They sell those at AutoZone on the Help Me rack. Yeah, I know, I can get it there. It's just not like, you know, fixing that right now isn't at the top of my list, just because obviously, you know, I have more important things. I don't need to worry about going in and out of the back doors until like I'm ready to essentially live in the van, but I figured I was gonna fix it once I start building my paneling for the back doors. That's when I was gonna work on it. Also, does anybody know why the van does that? Like when I put it in the reverse, not all the time, just sometimes, like occasionally, once in a blue moon, it will like stall out on me only in reverse. It doesn't obviously do it for drive or anything like that. Does anybody know why it does that? Is it just like maybe a loose connection, or I don't know what would cause that. Look at these people looking at my serial killer van. I'm about to be y'all's neighbor soon. We're gonna be neighbors. They're gonna see this van all the time. Look at them looking at it. Oh, you guys can't see it. Yo, these people I just passed did the whole fucking turn around behind them and look thing as I drove past them with the van. They're like, why is this serial killer van in our neighborhood? Oh no. Oh man, because they can't see me. They can't see anyone through the windows. The windows are so dark tinted, you can't see shit. It's kind of funny. Could be electrical, tranny, fuel. Well, see, I thought about that, but I had the transmission looked at already, and there's nothing wrong with the transmission. So, well, maybe we could cross the tranny off the list. Oh, I will say this, I am very low on fuel right now. Like, I'm almost to a... Okay, actually that makes sense, because the last time it did it to me was 3 weeks ago. And I remember that time I had to fuel up as soon as I got to work. So, that makes sense, that it's probably... It could be the fuel thing, and it also does it when I'm like on weird inclines. Which... possibly could mean my gas gauge is slightly off, you know? It's not telling me the whole story. Because I'm definitely really low on gas. Like, I have to get gas at work today before I leave. Yeah, I guess it could be a evap thing too. Like, the van's fucking weird, dude. Like, you know, that's why I don't turn it off when I drive for extended periods of times. But you all heard it started right up, no issues. And then I proceeded to reverse again and it didn't shut off on me. So I don't know, man, like it's just like temperamental, I guess. But I learned with this van not to freak out about anything, because it's usually something very simple. With this van, it's a simple explanation. And it's been, up to this point, an easy fix or solution. You know? But if this was like a 2022 Mercedes Sprinter van, and something happened like that, it would be like, what, $4,000 at the shop for them to tell me what's wrong with it, because I can't fix it myself. So that's one of the perks with having an older vehicle, is you can kind of just do it yourself. Yeah, that makes sense, CCC. Again, like, this van's had the evap issue pretty much since I got it. Like, it's always had the high idle. But then again, when we just got out of the van there and I put it in park, it wasn't idling high at all. It was idling normal. So I don't know. Maybe at that moment it was just running very lean. And then that caused, you know, in reverse for it to stall out. Could be that. There's so many different things it could be, I guess, but definitely not anything major, you know, majorly serious, which is good, or expensive. I've already proven to myself, you know, I fixed the van myself once already. I could probably do it again and again. So here's another cool little pull-off spot. If I was just looking for a spot to chill out for the day, I can't sleep here. But if I wanted to come to like this river over here that nobody ever comes to and pull over right here, I can completely have, like, you know, a gaming stream. I could cook here, chill out by the river, and then go to that other camp spot to sleep for the night. So I could do that too. It doesn't say you can't park here. It just says that you can't sleep here. So I wouldn't be sleeping if I was here. Oh, I see what you're saying, CCC. Yeah. Well, I knew that before I bought the van. I knew I was gonna have some kind of issues, you know. I knew it wasn't gonna be perfect. So I basically already had planned for that. But the cool thing is, like, it drives and it gets me from point A to point B right now with no issues whatsoever. And it's, you know, allowed me time to work on my van and get it built out, you know, in the meantime. I mean, granted, I've had a couple of things done to it. Like, I did replace the starter to it. I just got an oil change. I had that stuff done to it. But I haven't, other than me changing out the distributor and the van battery, I haven't really done anything major to it. Alright, so here's another camping spot. This is a free place that you could park overnight. There's no signs here, which is kind of cool. If you wanted to, like, cook outside of your van. C that I'd have is maybe Starlink won't work as well here. Like, the first spot that we went to has a pretty wide open view of the sky on that second level parking spot up there. You're surrounded by trees, but you got a nice view of the sky. This, you're kind of covered by What? Where's the combobulator? I don't know if anybody's ever seen those TikTok videos of the guy. You guys, I ordered my combobulator. Where is it? I apologize for absolutely nothing. I know some people know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this is another spot. But I'm gonna go ahead and end up the stream. I gotta get to work, and I'll be going live, well, probably later tonight for a game stream, but I'll be going live for a van build stream tomorrow for sure. Probably sometime around 10:30. That's usually when my brain is functional at that time of the day. And I'll see y'all then.